Hello, everyone, and hope you're all having an amazing day or had an amazing day, depending on your current time zone. So, today I'm going to discuss two major events in one in each of my daughter's lives where the realization came about that this was a lot more complex or a lot more out of my control than I previously thought. So, the gist of it is just when you have someone that you're caring for that has a disability, it is a lot more complicated than we might think sometimes, right? Or it might be like, oh, I got this, or I have a handle on this, and then reality smacks you in the face, and then you realize, you know what, I may not have this under control as much as I thought I did. Hello, hello, hello. For those of you guys that are new to my channel, my name is Kathy, and on Mondays I do videos all about fashion and accessories, just fun things that I enjoy doing to keep my mind off of the second half of the week videos, which are all about my girls and their battles with two diseases, TSC and FSGS. TSC being Tuberous Sclerosis Complex, or tumors that can grow in any major organ throughout your body, and FSGS being a form of kidney disease that causes damage to the glomeruli, which is the kidney filtration that can lead to kidney disease, kidney failure, dialysis, or transplant, depending on your disease's progression. So if you're interested in either or, please hit the little subscribe button and hit the little bell so you can be notified on all of my latest videos. And please don't forget to hit the like button and comment below. Let me know what you think of today's video. And let's get started. So the whole idea that we believe as human beings that we can control any event that occurs in our lives, it's probably more of a cruel joke than anything else, and I definitely learned it the hard way. Unfortunately, with my oldest daughter Amber and my youngest Alani, each of them had different instances where I knew that it was going to be complicated, but I always felt like I had some form of control, right? But there was two pivotal points in one in each of their lives that really woke me up to the reality that I may not be able to control this. I may not be able to get the outcome that I want. And this is a lot more serious than I ever thought imaginable. Okay, so let's start with Amber. So the biggest challenges with Amber is just trying to first find out how far along her kidney disease was. That was the beginning, right? So we ended up finding out she had kidney disease, so we ended up having to rush and push through and make sure that we address what's going on, right? Get her on the medications, try to prolong that kidney as long as we possibly can before she has to either get a kidney transplant or go on dialysis, right? So the goal here was to keep her off dialysis. We wanted to get her into a transplant pretty quickly. So once I was confirmed a positive fit for her, and we did the kidney transplant. So it was kind of like kidney disease, prolonged her kidney, and then right straight into kidney transplant. So we never had to experience dialysis. And if you speak to anybody, as far as anyone that's had kidney disease or understands the urgency when it comes to having kidney disease and making sure that you have a functioning kidney, they will tell you that if they can avoid kidney dialysis, anybody that's been on has been on dialysis, would more than likely tell you that they would prefer to have a kidney transplant versus being on dialysis. Dialysis is very it really takes a toll on your body. It takes a toll on your overall, just the way you see life or the way you value life is very different once you're on dialysis, because it literally drains the blood from your face. It literally drains. I mean, you literally start to turn gray, your skin. You get exhausted. You can barely do things. And then, in the beginning, it's not as bad. You're able to kind of jump up and, start living your life normally after dialysis. But once it starts getting into the 2-year mark, 3-year mark, it starts to do, it's not as functional, right? So it still works, but you're literally living off of a machine. So it becomes more and more difficult to just do day-to-day things. It is very exhausting on the body, your mental capabilities, everything. I mean, you literally turn into a different person while you're on dialysis. It's just it's just a difficult period. So once my daughter started to lose her kidney, that's really when I started seeing this journey with kidney disease a lot more differently. When she got sick, she got meningitis, and then she ended up losing her kidney. So the one pivotal point in my life was when her first day on dialysis. I have to say that was probably the scariest day of my life, because I didn't know how this journey was going to go. I didn't know where the journey was going to take us. I didn't know how long she was going to be on it, on dialysis. And then when I was sitting with her in that room, I'll never forget, it was the realization that this is our new life, right? So you go from being able to do your everyday tasks, being able to go jump, and take the car, go out to the beach, go do our stuff, and just living our normal lives, right? She was going to high school. It was just the realization of that changing so dramatically from one point to another, where she now has to go 3 days a week to get her blood cleaned, pretty much at a clinic. It was a whole different. Well, this was in the beginning. Was in the hospital because she was still young. It really was a cultural change shock for me, because I didn't realize how serious the condition was until that day. Not that I didn't know that it was a serious disease, right? I knew that it was a serious disease, but we didn't have to face it full blown, because she was able to get a kidney right after. So she never really got to the point where she was sick, throwing up, nauseous, and I mean she was having those little things, obviously, because she had kidney disease. But the way it is, from being able to do your day-to-day stuff and just go about your day, to just losing the capability of doing anything, right? Just being stuck to a machine 3 days a week and getting sicker and sicker and sicker. That really was a pivotal point in my life. So that's when I knew that I have no control over this disease. I have no control over her health, her ability to be okay. The only thing we could do is make sure that we get to those treatments, making sure she gets her medication, making sure that I don't lose my insurance. These are all things that were beyond stressful, but at least I had some control over, right? But yeah, that was probably one of the most pivotal points in my life. Now with my youngest, it was a lot sooner. And the reason being is because though they both had the diseases, though both of them had TSC, I still knew and understood that with my youngest, at least I had a little bit, or I thought, at least I thought I had a little bit more time when it came to seizures. But she started having them about 3 years old. So the pivotal point where she was having a little seizures, those real short seizures, they were 10, maybe 5 to 10 seconds long. So it wasn't as dramatic as the day that she was in the hospital. My oldest was in the hospital I believe she was on the 7th floor, and my little one was on the 3rd floor. And when I was there with my little one, they did the wrap on the head to check her seizures and see how often she was having them. And on the day that she was going to be released, she had about a 5-minute, full-blown seizure on the hospital bed at 3 years old, with friends visiting. And the look on that young girl's mom, I don't want to say her name, but when she saw Alani having that seizure, it looked like she saw a ghost. Her face turned pale white, and she just started to cry. And that's when I knew that what we were dealing with was a lot more serious than I had anticipated. Because though she was having seizures, it was nothing as serious as the one she had at that hospital at that time. So it became real to me at that point. So I understood. I guess it was first Alani, because Amber she still hadn't gotten on dialysis. So the pivotal point, I guess it was Alani first and then Amber. But yeah, it's always, I still, like I tell you, like I picture that day or both of those days like it was yesterday. Like I can see the rooms, I can see where everything is. My little one sitting on the side of the bed, where the pillows were positioned, where my friend was standing, where her daughter was standing, where the doctor was when she had it. Yeah, it was, and where my daughter, the chair, the dialysis chair she was sitting in, I could see all the kids that were having dialysis treatment done. The one little baby in the corner in his crib. I literally can see and picture everybody. The nurses where they were standing, the doctor where he was sitting. I mean, each of these moments in my life were just pivotal points and stuff that, like, we always have that one dramatic event that we can just picture, no matter how much you try to fight it and how much you try to, like, forget about it. Those moments are still so pivotal in my brain, and I still remember them like night and day. You know, there are moments obviously throughout their diseases and throughout the battles with their diseases that I remember, but those two events were the most dramatic for me, because that's when stuff became real. It became my new reality. It became the fact that, hey, this is something that's out of your control. And the whole point of the video, I guess, is to make sure that if you have kids with disabilities, if you have kids with diseases, if you have someone that you love and you're taking care of, it doesn't matter who it is, understand that there are going to be events in your life where you feel like you have no control over it. You have to let that go, because what ended up happening to me is I held on to that for so long. It started to take a part of me, and I slowly started to go into a deep depression because I felt like life was over. But in reality, it was just the beginning. It was just the beginning of our battle. Yeah, life changed dramatically. Everything changed. And I get it. I'm not blind to it. But where we are today, my youngest, I just dropped her off to her prom. My oldest, she's working on her business. So we're in completely different places where we were, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, even 1 year ago, where we were trying to find the right medication for my youngest, where her tumor was growing, and now her tumor has shrunk dramatically, just using this new medication called everolimus, right? And then my oldest getting her kidney transplant almost 3 years ago, her second transplant. So going through all these surgeries, and this year she hasn't even had one yet, So we are in a way better places than we were, So I cannot express this enough to those of you guys that are dealing with these kind of things, that though life might seem so unforgiving, because that's how I see it. I see life as so unforgiving to me, and I always was like, oh, woe is me, oh, whatever, why is everybody else around me okay, their kids are all good? And then I realized that this is just something that you have no control over. It's stuff that can happen to anybody. And I stopped feeling sorry for myself, because what's the purpose? What's the point? Feeling sorry for myself isn't going to change the course of our lives and the events that are to come, right? It's not going to change it. It's going to happen. They're going to have to go through this, and I got to, get my stuff together and recognize the fact that it's going to be one hell of a ride, or it has been one hell of a ride, but I can't get off this bus yet, right? I have to drive this bus all the way to the end. So don't forget that, right? No matter what, there's going to be pivotal points in your life, even if you're not dealing with a disability or something critical or major could happen, and you feel like you've lost it all, you lost full control. But you can't just give up. We have to, as human beings, period, we got to be able to recognize that something might change course for us in our lives, but we have to kind of just adjust to that new course and still aim for the best possible outcome, right? Never give up. Stop fighting. Never stop fighting for what you believe in and for what you truly believe will help that situation for the better, right? Don't give up. Don't sit back and just accept like the worst case scenario, or use something else that will hurt you or harm you to get through it, right? Like some people kind of adjust to doing other things like drinking and other things, and you can't do that. You gotta have a straight head, right? You gotta keep your stuff together, because no matter what, it's gonna be challenging. I know it's gonna be challenging. I could have easily started doing something else and just given up on everything because I start feeling sorry for myself. Screw that. No, I started working harder at my job. I started focusing on my girl's health. I started making sure that my oldest daughter never gave up on herself. I started looking for different doctors. I started reviewing, I mean, countless papers and documentations on different doctors and different hospitals, how we can get on the list, how my youngest could get on this experimental drug, how, I did it all. So don't give up on yourself. Don't ever give up on your family member or whoever you're fighting for. And don't give up on believing that things can get better, because they can. They can. You just have to have that will, right? You know? Anyway, I hope this was informative. I apologize. Sometimes I go on and go on. But sometimes I just feel like this is my out. This is my ability to tell you guys how I truly feel. Because I don't really talk to people much about this stuff because I feel like, they wouldn't understand anyway. So, yeah, but look at me here telling all you guys. Anyway, thank you guys for taking the time out to check out my video. I hope it was informative. If you have any feedback or anything that you want to ask, feel free to comment below. And thank you guys. And please don't forget to hit the like button. And hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so, as I continue to grow my channel, and I'm so happy I'm on my way, quick pace to 2,000 subs. Insanity. I'm so excited and so fortunate to have all the support from you guys out there. And please don't forget to focus through and evolve. Ciao.